that are new here, my name is Shayna and I'm currently 34 weeks and 6 days pregnant with a little girl. I will be having an early induction at 37 weeks due to something called fetal growth restriction that we currently have. It's like a plug on my placenta. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my 34-week recap video, starting with my symptoms. So I definitely jinxed myself last week. I didn't have acid reflux that bad and it came full force this week. I have had to take medication almost every single night. I've woken up at 2-3 a.m. with my throat on fire and just burning. It's been crazy. I think I didn't have to take medication one night out of this entire week, but thankfully I only have 2 more weeks left and she will be here and I really won't have to worry about it anymore, because prior to pregnancy I didn't have any acid at all. Like, I never really had bad heartburn or anything like that, even when I ate spicy food. Or definitely been something new for me during pregnancy that I haven't been used to, but baby girl has a lot of hair, so we're very happy about that. Next thing would be lightning crotch. That gets pretty intense at night, especially when I'm trying to move positions. Mainly at night that I feel it, not much anymore when I'm walking. That's mainly my feet hurting. So pelvic pressure and soreness isn't too bad, but baby girl is definitely low. She is head down and in position. She's usually on my lower left or right side. It's usually really hard right here. I have an anterior placenta, so I feel her pushing up against it right here a lot of the time. Like I said, my feet have been killing me lately. Swollen feet and ankles have been a huge factor over the past 3 weeks. That was one symptom I was so close to not actually having to deal with this pregnancy. That's one of the most common symptoms. It started about end of my 31st week of pregnancy. Started to get swollen feet and ankles. Prior, I only had swollen fingers. The tops of my feet hurt so bad where I'm like hardly able to wear shoes or putting any pressure on the tops of my feet. Icing them, I've even had Brandon massage them a couple times, but my poor feet hardly ever get a break because I'm always on my feet at work, and then I come home and clean my house or prep things for Emery's arrival, so I barely ever get a break. So we'll live, like I said, only 2 more weeks until I won't have to deal with that anymore as well. On Tuesday morning, I went in for my maternal fetal medicine doctor appointment. I have to see my gestational diabetes as well as the fetal growth restriction diagnosis. So I went in. I was actually a couple minutes late because I had to turn around because I left my blood sugar sheet at home. Thankfully, they don't work like the OB's office and they still let you in. So I got called back there and they took my vitals and everything. I'm very happy because I gained a pound again finally. Last week I was worried about that. I now weigh 131.9, so I am 3 pounds away from hitting my weight of, or what the doctor gave me, because they told me they wanted me to reach 25 pounds. It was actually when I went into my OB's appointment on Friday, yesterday, I actually had lost a pound. So instead of weighing 131, I weighed 130, like on the dot. So I lost a pound and 9 ounces, which no one's worried about because no one's really said anything about, but it's kind of been fluctuating a little bit the past 2.5 weeks, which I guess is okay. And since I'm being induced at 37 weeks, I don't think it matters that I make it to 25 pounds, especially since I've been fluctuating around at gaining 21, 22. So I think I'm pretty fine. And no matter what, she's getting things. So I may be deficient, but hopefully she isn't, even though she does have the growth restriction. I have a different sonographer at this appointment than the last one. I was trying to avoid getting ultrasounds as much as possible during my pregnancy, because I know it's not very healthy to have them be under that for too long with the heat and the waves and stuff like that. But with the fetal growth restriction, we have no choice. They have to check on her. She has to be continuously monitored. Once a week I'm getting those up until 37 weeks and only have 2 more left. So I felt kind of awkward and weird in there because the lady was really quiet. She didn't talk at all. She was just down to business, and she didn't even sit down. She just stood on the edge of the bed with a probe just looking around, and she wasn't even like trying to get her to move. She did do her practice breathing, but it took a minute, and she studied her heart a lot, like for a while, and it really scared me, and I could even see on the monitor that there was something off. So we found that Emery actually has a heart flutter. My heart was like dropped, like it was in my stomach, but apparently it is not a big deal. It is very, very common. It usually goes unnoticed by most pregnancies because unless you're being continuously monitored, you're probably not going to catch it. And since I am being continuously monitored, obviously they're going to get every little thing. So she got that. she was studying it for a while. She said she had to get pictures and videos and stuff for the doctor just in case she wanted to check it out and make her diagnosis. And I was actually told to stay in that room for a minute while she went to go ask the doctor if she wanted to come see it for herself, which she wound up not doing, and I wound up being taken straight to the NST room. And I could tell she was like awkward feeling for me, because she was like, you want some pictures? You want some pictures of her face? Because she was like so quiet. I didn't think I was going to get any pictures on all this time, which is whatever, but I could tell that it was a little off. So we did get some pictures. She was, of course, squished up against the placenta. She looked so freaking cute. She was just sleeping away. She had her hand on her face like this, NST, and I was staring at that monitor for the entire 14 minutes before the just walked in that room. And I told her, she asked me how I was, and I told her I was nervous, and her face changed, and she was like, why, what's wrong? And I told her about the, you know, being nervous about the flutter or whatever, and she said that it was nothing to worry about. Like I said, that it was pretty common, and that mine was hardly noticeable. It would only happen 4 times in the ultrasound. I was in there for a full 30 minutes. It only happened twice on the NST prior to her coming in, and didn't happen anymore after she came in for the next like 10 minutes that she was in there. That she wouldn't be concerned about it unless it was happening like every 2 to 3 beats, but it was really inconsistent. Next week when I go in for my growth scan, that they would look at it and check it, and if it's still there, they would do a fetal echo just to make sure there's nothing serious going on, even though she doesn't think that there is. I was told to cut back on caffeine, and that could definitely be a factor, and also could help the cause of the heart flutter, like, and stop it. So I kind of cut it all out, other than what's in a little bit of food that I eat, I guess, like in chocolate, but I cut out all soda. Haven't drank any sweet tea or anything like that. I've only had water since Tuesday, so almost an entire week of not drinking soda, and I'm not going to touch soda or sweet tea until after she's born. That's definitely going to be my drink with my first meal, is a Coke, because I love it, but it's okay. I want to protect her as much as I possibly can, so if that's something I can do to make sure that it helps the problem or it stops the problem, then that's what we're going to do. It looks good. It's as well and consistent, which is what we want to see. We don't want it to be over like every single time in a row. I think 3 times last week, and it's been over twice this week, I believe. And like I said, it's inconsistent. They're not back to back, and it was the highest it was 133, and that was up until that day, because I checked my sugar. My sugar was at a 140. Like, it didn't make any freaking sense to me at all, because what I had for breakfast that same day was what I had for breakfast the day prior, and my sugar the day before was perfectly fine, but for some reason it skyrocketed. So I don't know what that was about, or what happened, or whatnot. The only difference between the 2 days is that I had eaten 2 hours later than what I had the day before. That's the only difference. And I called Brandon and told him everything that happened. Honestly, we were just pretty much done. We were highly stressed out, even though we were told that it wasn't a big deal. But I think it's just having, you know, finding out I have gestational diabetes when I don't fit into any of the categories other than running in my family. Not gestational diabetes, but diabetes itself running in my mom's side of the family. And then finding out that we have a growth restriction, and now the flutter. It's just one thing after the other, and I think that we were just highly done and just ready for some good news instead of bad news. And at that point, like, I feel like I can protect her more when she's out than when she's in, which is opposite for a lot of women, because a lot of people want them to stay inside them because they feel like they can protect them, but once they're out in the world, they can't do anything. I feel the opposite, because I feel like I can protect her when she's out, but not while she's in me, because I'm not the problem. Emery's not the problem. The pregnancy's the problem, and I can't fix the pregnancy. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm ready for her to be out, even though I know she does need to cook a little bit longer. 34 weeks is way too early. She would definitely be in the NICU. Holding out for 2 more weeks will be okay. I worked throughout the rest of the day, and I calmed down. I accepted it. I processed it, and I was perfectly fine. The Friday at my appointment, when I went in, apparently the flutter wasn't there. They didn't see it on the NST. It didn't show up, so that's good. Also at the specialist appointment, I kind of freaked out a little bit, because when I was staring at the monitor, her heart fluctuated. Like, it went all the way down to like 30 and then jumped to like 200, and sometimes the machine would skip, and I'd never noticed that before, and I had been doing NSTs for 2 weeks prior to this week, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention and it had happened before. But apparently the machine like overcorrects or undercorrects if they don't know what to do with it, because she moves a lot. So if she's moving and it's like, oh, I don't know what to do with that, it's going to freak out. And that also made me feel even more nervous. But once the doctor came in and explained everything, it went a lot smoother. On Thursday, I got my bedside nursery and my postpartum section all set up. That made me feel so accomplished and so happy. I uploaded that video this week, so if you want to go check out, I also uploaded my first baby watch vlog, which is me going to my specialist appointment, so talk about the heart flutter there as well, and you can see the emotion like after just finding out. So you can make sure to check out those two videos as well, our weekly update videos. Friday morning, like I said, I went into my OB's appointment and I went in for my NST. I was actually in the NST for 40 minutes instead of 20 because there was a paper jam and it stopped printing. I honestly don't mind because I love sitting there and being able to hear her heartbeat. It's one of the most beautiful sounds I've ever heard in my entire life. They also gave me a clicker that I could click her movements or count her movements. That was really cool. They don't have that at the specialist, but they do at the OB, and that was awesome that I was able to click that every single time she moved. So given a STREP B test at my 34-week appointment. Usually they don't give this until the end of your pregnancy, but because I'm being induced early, they went ahead and did it early as well. I'm not really sure if it's going to be positive or not. It could possibly be because this past year I had a reaction to Augmentin, which has amoxicillin in it, which is penicillin. So I could definitely possibly have a reaction to it. Hope not, but we'll see. It's an easy fix but I used to get strep throat all the time when I was little, and then later in life you can definitely gain an allergy to it, and that's kind of what happened because I broke out in a rash all over my body. But I'll get those results next Friday when I go in for my OB appointment. Also given consent forms for the induction, for a vaginal delivery, and also for a C-section just in case that stuff happens. So I had to read over that and sign it. I was also given a cervical check, my first cervical check ever. It burned and hurt a tad bit. She like stuck her whole hand up there, which I know she has to get all the way up there to check it. I've never had one before, so it was definitely freaky. Apparently I am a fingertip dilated and 10% evased, which is exciting. It's literally nothing, and that's good because typically at 34 weeks you don't want to be dilated or effaced or anything like that, because that means your body's ready to give birth, and at 34 weeks you don't need to be giving birth. Although I wouldn't mind if it gradually starts to get, better and, more open, because I will be induced at 37 weeks, so I'll be giving birth early anyway. So if I can get my body there myself, I'm okay with it. Obviously not right now, but over the next couple weeks, like I said, I'm going to be trying to get my body prepared as much as possible. Bouncing on my pregnancy ball. I was on that thing for over an hour last night. I didn't even realize how long I was on it. I was watching Big Brother and I was playing on my phone. I just wasn't paying attention, and I was bouncing and doing swivels and stuff like that on it for an hour, which I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I did have 4 Braxton Hicks contractions last night when I was going to bed. Braxton Hicks contraction I had at 30 weeks, I believe, for like 45 minutes. It was the weirdest thing ever. But these were like lasted 10-15 seconds a piece, and they feel like menstrual cramps. So it was completely different from the first one that I had. Experienced those again. I really hadn't experienced them since, I think maybe once or twice, but they were so subtle that I really didn't notice them or comprehend them. But I know for a fact that these were Braxton Hicks because they happened 4 times, and I could it wasn't subtle. Like I could definitely feel the cramps, so they were definitely there. So that's really cool that it shows that my body's getting ready. Possibly have been from me bouncing on that ball for so long, and also because of the cervical check. I'm not really sure, but I think so. Today we are Brandon already moved some stuff out of here, finished decorating. I still need a hamper for her. Obviously her closet's not fully done, but other than that, her entire room is done. I think we need to hang one more thing up. I just don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm waiting on one more package that I think is gonna have my Hatch sound machine and nightlight in it. I just put her humidifier here, but I'm so excited because I am recording her reveal this week, either Monday or Tuesday. I will be putting that video up, hopefully get pretty much everything done today, but obviously you can't finish it if you don't have everything that you need, and I'm still waiting on something from someone before I can. Putting in the car seats today, so I am really excited. I am so happy and ready for her to be here. I feel very accomplished and almost fully prepared for her to be here, and if she does come earlier than 37 weeks or they have to take her earlier, I'll know that I have everything set up. I just need to pack my hospital bag, which I'll be doing at the end of next week, this coming week. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my bump. 34-week bump. I have yet to still have any stretch marks. I actually stopped using my stretch mark cream because apparently it has caffeine in it, and I've been using that on my skin like every single day, so I kind of stopped using that too because of the caffeine. I don't know if that really has a factor, but I've been putting it straight on my skin where she is. So I stopped using that too, so hopefully I won't get a stretch mark between now and 2 weeks from now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out all of my baby watch and nesting videos that are coming soon, as well as the nursery reveal, and stay tuned for next week's update. We only have 2 more left before she's here.